Hi and welcome to this short video about the Alexander-Technik, and I am Torsten Konrad, and I'm teaching the technique since 1997 at Folkwang University of the Arts. I'm working a lot with performing artists and musicians, visual artists as well, and support people with the Alexander-Technik in the way they use themselves on the level of their body awareness, how they are in their bodies, how they experience themselves, how they use their self-experience for their activities, and for their posture, for the placement, and also all these activities: movement, dance, theater, creative performance projects, and so on. So I'm so used to teaching different languages, so I just thought, why not do some informational video about the Alexander-Technik in English, which I haven't done yet. So I have this little friend here. He's a great support for and is also expressing one of the things we are doing in the Alexander work, which is about embodiment and getting closer to the cellular reality of our being, and in this regard here, what he represents is the aspect of structure. So the bones are a very important structural element, which has a strong influence on everything we do. And as always with the Alexander work, we are interested in a dialogue with our cellular system, and we want to have to benefit as much as possible from our inherent intelligence. So if we manage to generate situations, circumstances, and an awareness or an open-mindedness that gives us access to a dialogue in equality and partnership with our inner organic nature, it is a great way to remember that we are not only what we consciously and unconsciously think, and that's of great value, because it helps us free our mind. Because when we embody, we need to stop what we're doing. When we get more awareness of some specific aspect of our embodiment, we need we cannot go on with the unconscious thought rhythms, with the unconscious brain configuration. So our brain gets surprised, it changes, and it's a very creative thing. It's the processes around the Alexander-Technik are very creative processes, and that's why I love that. And it has many benefits. We can benefit from it because it helps us to do all the things we love to do and the things we have to do. It helps us to do these things in a way that we can start to like doing them. And that's so incredible. I just remember when I was the first time in with my movement teacher from Indonesia. I went to do workshop and practice and festival in Bali, and I saw people doing things that were so normal things, like they were cleaning the house or cleaning the garden, and or building a house. They were building a house and they looked so beautiful. They looked like somebody that you want to put on stage, because I don't know, the harmonious side, the harmonious quality in which they were doing things. It was really touching. It was really like you didn't want to stop watching these people, looking at these people. It was pretty embarrassing, actually, like catching yourself looking at people and thinking, why do you stare at this person now, and what is it that, so what I found out, and it's been actually a very beautiful compliment I got when I was training a priest, like a woman priest. She was a part of our training course in Cologne for some years, and for a teacher's training. And when she had her first private session with me, she just she had a hallelujah moment, and she was just saying that what she loves so much about the Alexander-Technik is that she feels it makes her be like it makes her be physically like God created her, or like God wanted her to be. It was really funny because it was so genuine, and because she was professional around relationship with God, so she was just talking from her experience and her expertise, and making sense of what we do. Because the very funny thing of the Alexander-Technik is that the moment you start to use it, the moment you start to apply it, you stop being who you were before, because you cannot access it unless you invite change, and this change is not a physical change. It's Alexander never used the word body. He always talked about himself and people like psychophysical organisms. So and he was really clever about this. I think even though it's more than 100 years ago, and I don't know if our culture has learned a lot from people like him yet. So he so this learning is it's like you apply it, and then you change. So you change, and it's neuromuscular changes. So it's of course it's changes in the muscles and in the fibers and in the relationship between different parts of your system. But the change of experience, you feel very different, of course. But you are also different because on the neuromuscular level, every change you induce in your system on a deep level, it just it doesn't stop anywhere. It includes everything. So you actually you become another person. You change any habit, and you're not the same anymore. And that's why it's sometimes really difficult to understand or to explain the Alexander-Technik, because it's so transformative. And so then with the time you understand why Alexander would always call what we do in the Alexander work, he would call it we help ourselves and others to improve the use of themselves, the use of ourselves, and yeah, it's quite a big thing, and but it has these very specific benefits that everybody can enjoy, and yeah, therefore why not embark on a journey that you don't know where it's going to lead you. Yeah, many people, they come because they're so angry because of some pain they have somewhere, and it's in the process they start to realize that they cannot change this pain. They cannot change this pain without changing how they produce this pain. So, and it's mostly like how they are with themselves is what produces the strain or the stress or the challenge. So, yeah, if everything works out well, there comes this moment where we get it. We get that's the next step of how I could learn to do things differently. How I could leave myself a bit more alone, and so on. So the dynamic relationship within our placement is more available to us in resting positions, as well as in transition to movement, and then in the movement itself. Like if you want to go running or do things like that are really requiring a lot of energy, it's also it's really helpful if you know on an experiential level, if you know where your feet are, so like if you can feel that, if you can really embody that, and then of course, depending on your interests, like the more specific you allow this process to be, and this orientation to evolve, the more benefit you get from it. So yeah, so that's why it's a really cool thing. Alexander, he developed the technique because he lost his voice as an actor when he wanted to perform really important moments of his theater pieces, like monologues, and yeah, that's why the technique is such a fine tool. It became such a fine tool because he, after realizing that even though everybody told him that he would be healthy, and doctors said it's all fine and just needs more rest, I don't know why I started. I wanted to wear green for this video because it's organic, and the thing is, Alexander-Technik is very organic in the deepest sense of the word. It's organic because you follow and start to respect and start to learn from your organism, and it's amazing. It's shocking, and sometimes it's really annoying how much authority this has and how much content, teaching content, your organism has for you. It's really like, ooh, humble. So what was I saying? Yeah, because like when he realized that correcting what he saw as a habit in his postural behavior, while he was starting to speak as loud as he was doing in the theater performances, and he saw things around his neck that he would really need to speak so loud that he could see that he was producing some funny pattern, and then he thought, of course, okay, I need to change the pattern, and then everything will be fine, and this didn't work. So he got the idea that there should be a way how to not produce the disturbing pattern, and how not to interrupt the self-intelligent psychophysical processes and dynamics, and like the postural processes of head balance, for example. And yeah, then he developed the technique as he found out how to how to approach this, and this is how all these things that nowadays are really really important and valuable to get to know. It's like how to look at a computer, how to sit in front of a computer, how to sit on a chair, and all these things, how to stand, how to walk, how, without putting a lot of strain on ourselves, which is almost impossible because so many of the activities we are doing for some reason, and because we do them for some reason, we have automized many of these activities, so they lack awareness, and then this lack of awareness, depending on the stress and the pressure we bring into the situation and circumstance, can start to produce really annoying shortenings and stuff we really don't like, and disturb the freedom of movement, the enjoyment of presence and stuff like this. And with the Alexander-Technik we have a very powerful tool to interrupt all the disturbances in this way. Yes, so I have this many offers of webinars nowadays, as I said already, and I'm just really happy that you've been watching this video and got some information about good old Alexander, and maybe you want to join one of the sessions, especially if you have some serious reasons to look after yourselves, or just more are inspired on how to have a better overall functioning of your interaction, like your organic presence and activity in your everyday life or special activities, then you're here in the right place. And I would just say, have a great day, and I don't know if he wants to wave at you. Yes. Cheers and bye-bye. Thanks for your attention.